Hey guys, it's Mr. B here. I want to talk to you for a second about some help with percent questions in math. There are basically three types of questions that use percents. There's the type when you need to know the part that's missing, as in what part is equivalent to this 35%. So finding 35% of 75 will tell you what that part is that's missing. When you know the part and you know the total, you can use that information to help you find the specific percent. And when you need to know the total, but you know the part and you know the percent, you can use a strategy called the bat and ball strategy that I'm going to show you to solve any type of percent problem. There's a lot of easier strategies when you need to answer a question involving this type here. But the bat and ball strategy is what I'm going to show you because it works for all three. And we'll discuss other strategies along the way. Alright, so in this situation, the bat and ball strategy, it uses a little easy formula, which is the part over the total equals the percent over 100. And some teachers teach it as part over the whole, so you might see it that way too. So you're going to set up your problem after you read it with this formula. It'll help you find the whole, the part, or the percent, whatever you need, and you just fill in the formula with what you do know, and you solve for the value that you don't know. I'll show you how we do one like this. The first example here. Mr. B is shopping for new jeans. He finds a pair that are regularly priced at $75 on sale for 35% off. Determine how much money Mr. B saves by purchasing the jeans on sale. Also determine the price he will pay for the jeans after the savings from the discount. So if we figure out what 35% of 75 is, that will answer that first question. That's what I'm going to save. And then obviously we can use that number and subtract it from 75 to figure out what the new price is that I'm going to be paying after the discount. So down here, I'm going to fill in some information that I need, and I'm going to use this formula and the bat and ball strategy to help me figure this out. Alright, so I've just kind of filled in this little information. When I've read the word problem, I realized that it's the part that I'm looking for, so I represent that with just X. That's my variable. Could be a question mark, or it could be left blank, but that's the part I need to know. The total I know, that's $75, and the percent I know, that's 35%. So now I'm going to use my formula with these three pieces of information, and pretty soon I'll have my answer. Alright, I've got everything plugged into the formula now. Again, the part is what I don't know, so I'll replace that with X. My total was 75, my percent is 35, and percents are always out of 100. So I've got everything set up, and now I'm ready to use the bat and ball strategy to solve this. Alright, there's my bat and there's my ball. The way you find what you're going to use as the bat is you're going to circle two values that are across from each other that you have to have them. You can't use the unknown. So since I have 35 and 75 and they're across from each other, that's what I'm going to circle for my bat. You're never going to circle both of the denominators. You're never going to circle, things that are on top of each other on either side. Your bat is either going to go this way or it's going to go this way, but I don't know the part, so it's certainly not going to circle my bat for this type of problem this direction. So 75 and 35 become my bat, and then the leftover value that you have is your ball. So since I have the 100, I circle that. If this was missing, if this was my variable, and this would be my ball. So you only circle what you have across from each other for your bat, and then what's left for your ball. From here, the strategy is very simple. You're going to multiply what's inside of the bat. So we're going to do 75 times 35 and get an answer. And we're going to take that answer and we're going to divide it by the ball. And it's as simple as that. And that will tell us what the missing value is. Alright, so I have taken the numbers inside the bat, 75 and 35, and I have multiplied them. Obviously, there's a lot more steps that I'm not showing in this video, but you're going to need to work it all the way out and be very careful in your multiplication. If you do it correctly, you're going to get 2625. Now you're going to divide that by your ball, which is 100. So essentially, we're trying to do 2,625 divided by 100. You could do that with long division. A lot of my 6th grade students are going to try to do that, but I've taught them other strategies. When you're dividing by 100, that's very special. All you've got to do is move the decimal place over 2 places to the left if you're dividing by 100. So there's no reason to go over here and do long division and possibly make a mistake. You're just going to move the decimal over 2 places. So if the number's 2625, dividing by 100 is just like moving the decimal over 2 spots. So even if you went and did that long division, you're going to move that decimal over 2 places. You're still going to get 26.25 if you do it with long division. So again, only when you divide by 100 can you move the decimal place 2 places. So let that save you some time when you're doing that. So we found out that if I'm shopping for a new pair of jeans, there's a regular price of $75. They're on sale for 35% off. How much money will I save by purchasing the jeans on sale? $26.25 is 35% of 75. So that gives me the first part of this answer is that's how much I'm going to save. The second part of the answer is determine the price that I will pay for the jeans after the savings from the discount. So obviously I need to take $75 now and subtract $26.25 from that to finish this question. Okay, so we found out that $26.25 was the amount of a 35% of $75 discount. So that means I'm going to be able to take that much off. So $75 minus $26.25 would be $48.75. So the price I'm going to pay after the discount is here, and the amount of the discount is here. Using the bat and ball strategy, I was able to solve for this unknown value right here, and it didn't take a whole lot of time to do it as long as I set it up correctly. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about a couple other strategies for problems like this, because there are some easier ways to do it when you are looking for the part. So we're going to discuss just a couple of easy strategies for that. All right, so obviously there are easier ways to find percents of a number, and one of the ones I want to talk to you about is the 1% strategy. We were originally looking for 35% of 75, and we can use 1% of a number to help find 35% of a number. So 1% of a number is the same thing as dividing the number by 100, which is the same thing as moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. So if I want 1% of $75, move the decimal point 2 places to the left, and that gives me 0.75. But that's only 1%, and I want 35%. So I can take that 1%, 0.75, and multiply it by the 35 that I need. And when I multiply 0.75 by 35, I get 2,625. And then when I move my decimal point back 2 places like I'm supposed to, I also get to $26.25, which is the same answer I got using the bat and ball strategy. So the 1% strategy is also an easy way to find a percent of a number. All right, yet another strategy to find a percent of a number is to convert your percentage to a fraction and your whole number to a fraction. So 35% is just 35 over 100, because all percents are out of 100. Of means multiply in this instance. When you want a percent of a number, you're multiplying. So we're going to change that to a multiplication symbol. And then 75 is just 75 over 1. We multiply straight across. 35 times 75 is 2,625, and 100 times 1 is obviously 100. All fractions are division problems, so 2,625 over 100 is the same thing as 2,625 divided by 100. And again, dividing a number by 100, you can do it with long division, but it will give you the same answer if you just move the decimal point left 2 times. So once again, we find it's 26.25. In this case, it was money, so $26.25. And another easy strategy when you're looking for a percent of a number. All right, yet another way to solve percent of a number is to multiply decimals. Take your percent, 35%, change it to a decimal, 0.35, because it's 35 over 100 as a fraction, so that's 35 to the hundredths place with place value. and multiply that times 75. Be careful with your multiplication. As you can see, I made a mistake here. When you multiply correctly, you'll get 26.25 again. You move your decimal back, you got $26.25 as well. So another strategy to find percent of a number. All right, and perhaps just one more strategy for good measure to find 35% of 75. Students have been taught that 10% of any number is just moving the decimal point one place to the left. So 10% of 75 would be 7.5. And I'm trying to get to 35%. So if I do that 3 times, that's going to give me 30%. And then I need to get to the additional 5%. So if I know 10%, I can find 5% because 5 is half of 10. So half of 7.5 would be my 5%. So there's my 7.5 that I'm splitting into 2. So 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. And 0.25 and 0.25 is splitting the 0.5 leftover piece, and when you add those together, you got 3.75 and 3.75. You add those back up, you'll get back to 7.5. So 3.75 is the 5% part. So if I take my 10% plus my 10% plus my 10% plus my 5% and add them all up, I get to 35% of 75, which is 26.25 again. Okay, so the bat and ball strategy works good if you're trying to find the missing part. You also have a bunch of other strategies that I've talked to you about that are actually a little bit easier whenever it's the part that's missing. The reason why I don't want students to only know these easier strategies is because the bat and ball strategy is really going to be the only one that can help you whenever one of these other pieces are the missing pieces. And so the way that I'm going to show you that is we're going to look at how the problem has been modified, and now there's going to be another part that's missing. So let's look at this second example. It's the same word problem, but it's been modified slightly. Mr. B is shopping for new jeans. He finds a pair that are on sale for 35% off the regular price. If the discount 35% is equal to a savings of $26.25, what's the regular price of the jeans? So now the regular price is what's missing. So we know the part, we do not know the total, and we know the percent. The bat and ball formula is still going to help us solve that, whereas these other strategies would not. So the bat and ball strategy is going to be a really good one for what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, so we have modified the problem now. And it is now the total that is missing. It says Mr. B is shopping for new jeans. He finds a pair that are on sale for 35% off the regular price. If the 35% discount is equal to a savings of $26.25, what's the regular price of the jeans? So the total is what we need. We have the other two pieces. So our bat and ball strategy has been redone here. It's the same formula. Part over the total equals percent over 100. Now we know the part, 26.25. The total is what's missing, so we indicate that with the x, our variable. We know the percent is 35, so we put 35 over 100. Again, the bat is going across from one side to the other to values that we know. We don't know this value, so we're not going to go this direction. I want to show you the difference between the bat and ball strategy. On the left, when the part is missing, the bat goes this way. You're circling these values. On the right, when the total is missing, your bat's going this direction. So I want you to pay attention to that and notice that the bat's going to go in different directions depending on which part is missing. Okay? So we've circled our bat. Our ball is whatever leftover value there is. We don't know this one, so we can't divide by it if we don't know what it is. So we circle the 35. So we're going to multiply across in the bat, 26.25 times 100. When I do that down here, again, students should know, we have said this over and over and over again, if you're going to multiply a number by 100, it's the same thing as moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. Just like dividing a number is the same thing as moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. So students should not have to spend all this time multiplying that number out. They should know to just move the decimal over 2 places to the right and make it 2,625. Now we're going to divide that by the ball, 35. So our thinking should be that this is our next step right here to do this division. Over here, we've set it up and we've done the long division. It's not the easiest long division in the world to do. You may have to make yourself a list of what you've got over here. Obviously 35 is not going to go into 2, so it goes in there 0 times. It's not going to go into 26, but it will go into 262. So I've made myself a list over here of my 35 times tables, basically, because I don't have those memorized. So I just counted by 35s to figure this out. Obviously part of that is wrong. 35 times 1 is not 75, it's 35. Let's make that change for sure. All right, from there, 35 times 2 times 3 times 4 and so on. So I'm trying to get close to 262. 35 times 7 is the best that I can do, so it goes in there 7 times. 7 times 35 is 245. I subtract and get 17, bring down my 5, and then 35 goes into 175 exactly 5 times. My list gave me that fact. 5 times 35 is 175, so there is no remainder. So I have, once again, using the bat and ball strategy, figured out that 75 was the total, or the original cost of the jeans in that problem. So the bat and ball strategy has once again helped me, even when the total is missing. All right. The last situation would be if we modified the word problem again to where the percent is missing. So if you read this word problem, notice how it's changed. It says Mr. B is shopping for new jeans. He finds a pair of jeans that are regularly priced at $75 on sale. So they are $75, but they are on sale. The total is $75. The cashier tells him the sale will save him $26.25 off the regular price. There's my part. And the question says, what percent will Mr. B save by purchasing the jeans on sale? So we are looking for the percent. That is our unknown. And one more time, we've set it up with the bat and ball strategy. Part over the total. 26.25 over 75. Percent over 100. I don't know the percent, so that's my variable x. I'm going to find my bat by circling the numbers that are across from each other. Again, I don't have this value, so I'm not going to make my bat go this direction. I'm going to multiply the numbers in my bat. 26.25 times 100. Again, multiplying by 100 is just moving the decimal point right 2 places. 2,625. Divide by the ball, which is now 75 in this instance. 2,625 divided by 75. I made myself a list again of my 75 multiplication facts. 275 is not going to go into 2 or 26, but it will go into 262. 3 times is as close as we can get. 3 times 75 is 225. We subtract and get 37, bring down our 5, and 75 goes into 375 exactly 5 times with no remainder. And so we have found our missing percent, 35%. I hope that you see how important the bat and ball strategy is. For examples 2, when the total is missing, and example 3, when the percent is missing. It works very well when it is also the part that is missing, as in example 1. So if you're the kind of student that likes to have one strategy that works with everything, the bat and ball strategy is going to be great for you. I want these kept in your journal so that you can go back to them, so that you can start to memorize what the formula is, and you can come back and look at these examples anytime you have a question. The only really thing that you have to do now when you're reading these word problems and trying to solve is figure out what's missing. Is it your part, your total, or your percent? Once you figure that out, you can set up the equation using your formula and solve it and have a pretty good chance of getting it right every time if you're following those steps. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.